Today, I'm gonna buy a 100k fundednext challenge and I will try to pass it within this day. I am back with another trading challenge, guys, since I saw that you loved the previous one I did when I day traded for a full day in my car to see exactly how much money I can make. And in today's challenge, you will see exactly whether I will be able to pass this 100k challenge, fail it, or be in between. So we're here and I'm gonna buy the 100k Stellar account, the two-step. I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna select MT5. So now let's get started and purchase the account. I will purchase it with a Visa card. And now I will input the details real quick and then I'll be back. All right, so I just received the credentials of the 100k account, as you guys can see here. This right here is the dashboard. As we can see, we have the overall loss limit of 10k, daily loss limit of 5k, minimum trading days, and the profit target. Now, before we hop on the charts, I want to quickly tell you guys how I will trade this account. So it's a 100k account and I will go ahead and risk 1.5% per trade. Why? Because I will only look for A+ setups. Now, I normally trade only the New York session after the New York Stock Exchange opens. But for today, I will make an exception and I will trade the London session as well, purely because this is a trading challenge and I want to have more opportunities so that you guys will be able to see how I read these markets and therefore have more action as well. So now that you know my risk management plan and how I plan to take on this challenge, let's hop on the charts and see how the markets look like right now. All right, so now that we're on the charts, we can see that the London session just started. And now I will look for the liquidity levels on the hourly time frame. Right here on GJ, we can see that the most recent low that was taken out was this one right here, which is pretty far away. The most recent valid high is this one. And now if I zoom out on the hourly, I don't really see much over here. But let me check the 4-hour and the daily as well to see what we have going on. On the 4-hour, we can see that price is reacting from a 4-hour demand, which is this one right here. So I will quickly note it because it's a higher time frame confluence. Let's go on the daily as well. And we can see that we're at a daily demand level as well. Okay, so right here, price is rejecting from an H4 plus daily demand. And now I will go on the 5-minute, and on the 5-minute, this right here can be an A+ potential depending on the market structure shift, okay? And it looks like we might have a potential setup over here, guys. We can see that price impulsively broke above this level here. And currently we have no fair value gap, but we will wait for it. And maybe in the upcoming minutes, we could have a setup over here. So let's color code this with green. Let's move over to UCHEF. Oh, on UCHEF, I see something here. Okay, we took out this level by the wicks liquidity sweep, which is looking great. The opposite liquidity level is this high right here. Nice. Price is also rejecting from this hourly demand level. Check this out, guys. Hourly unmitigated demand. So H1 demand, and that's our higher time frame confluence. It's looking really, really good. On the 5-minute, let's extend this line over here. And we also have a beautiful H1 sweep. So let's note this down as well. Beautiful H1 sweep. And this is an A+ potential depending on the market structure shift. And now we need to wait for that market structure shift. So far we have nothing over here, but that can definitely change. So let's color code this one with green as well. Let's move over to gold now. Let's see how gold is looking on the hourly. And okay, gold is at an all-time high. So most likely I won't do anything on this pair today since it's at a all-time high. Next up, we have NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ, this was the most recent valid high and the most recent valid low is this one right here. Price is currently in between. Therefore, there's nothing to look at right now. Euro USD, okay, Euro USD, we can see that it just took out this high right here. And the most recent low currently is this one here, okay? Because here we don't have these two candlesticks in a row. Maybe we will have now, depending on how this hourly candle will close. But nonetheless, we shall keep an eye on EU right now. It's not an A+ potential. Next up, we have US 30. On US 30, this is the most recent valid low. This right here is the most recent valid high. Price is currently in between, so nothing much to talk about. And lastly, in our watch list, we have GU. This is the most recent valid high right here. Then we have another valid low, and oh, it looks like we created another valid high here. Then we created another valid low. Okay, but now price looks like it wants to take out this valid high here. So until it takes it out, I won't do anything on GBP USD. So for now, guys, we should focus on USHEF, okay, and on GBP JPY. That could literally give us a setup within the next minutes. All right, so I just calculated my lot size. This is the lot size that I need to use in order to enter this GJ trade and risk 1.5% on it. We have a 41 pip stop loss. And yeah, now I'm just waiting for the price to get into my fair value gap in order to then be able to enter the trade. So I just found something interesting on GU as well. We can see that it took out this liquidity level here. And on the 4 hour, we can see that price is now at a 4 hour unmitigated supply, which is pretty good looking. Okay, that's a good higher time frame confluence. So now this setup right here could be an A+ potential, depending on, of course, the market structure shift. So now we just gotta wait on it. We can see that GJ still hasn't tapped us in. Setup is still valid low, so we need to wait and see whether it will retrace and it will tap me in. Okay, so we can see that finally price started to retrace towards our fair value gap, and we might have our first setup very, very soon here on GJ. So as I'm waiting for GJ that is currently playing with us, we can see it missed the entry by 3 pips. Let's check the other pairs as well. So on USHEF right here, I see something interesting happening soon. We can see the hourly time frame is still looking very good. We have this beautiful by the wick sweep, also rejecting from this hourly demand. And on the 5 minute now, we are pretty close to a market structure shift. We might have it very, very soon. And we already have this fair value gap right here. We have this other fair value gap right here. Okay, so right now we have 2, and I think we have 1 more right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we do have a third gap. The entry would be on the second though, but let's wait. GBP USD is also looking pretty good. As we previously discussed, we took out this level, also rejecting from a 4 hour supply. And on the 5 minute now, we are waiting for that market structure shift. Euro USD with a beautiful by the wick sweep right here on the hourly. We took out this liquidity level here, also rejecting from a 4 hour fair value gap, this one right here. But on the 5 minute, we can see that price already went to the downside without giving us a shift. We had this gap here, entry could have been here, but there is no shift, stop loss above. But even so, this wouldn't have been a valid setup because we can see that the TP is past the opposite liquidity level, which is not ideal. Nasdaq is still in between, US 30 still in between, and gold is at an all-time high. Okay, so for now, let's just focus on GJ to see if it's going to give us a setup, and on USHEF. Okay, USHEF, check this out. Just gave us the market structure shift, but right now this is a weak market structure shift. I want to see a body closure above, and if we get that, we might have a setup over here as well. So annoyingly, GBP JPY missed our setup over here by 3 pips, but it gave another market structure shift. And if we follow the price, we can see that we have another fair value gap right here. This is the second fair value gap of this bullish move, and it looks like it might give us a third fair value gap right here as well. Now, in this case, I will move my entry to this second fair value gap over here. This is where I would want to enter the markets. Let's delete this gap. Now, let me delete this drawing, and the TP would be at 1 to 2 right here. Okay, so this right here is the new refined setup on GJ that we are looking to enter. Okay, so we can see the price is super close to the gap. I am prepared to click the buy button, and we are in. We just entered our first trade of this challenge, a buy on GBP JPY. As we can see, this is the account. You can see step 1, funded next challenge, and this is the trade. Now I will enter the parameters. So we might have another A+ setup on GBP USD. I like how price is breaking below this low here. If we can see a full body closure below this low, we then have this fair value gap right here And then this is an A plus setup that I would definitely like to take. Okay, so the price is super close and we are in. Okay, we entered the sell on GBP/USD, and now I will place the stop loss and the take profit on it. This is a trade with a small stop loss. We can see 7.3 pips, but a valid setup nonetheless. So as I always mention in trading, the most important part is not only to take trades, but it is also very important to be selective and only take A plus setups. And now I want to show you a setup that theoretically was valid, but because it wasn't A plus, I decided to not take it. And this is how I was able to avoid a loss. So right here on USD CHF, first things first, hourly time frame looking good. Okay, we have a buy the wicks liquidity sweep right here. We also have rejected from an H1 unmitigated demand, this one right here. Therefore, this was an A plus potential depending on the market structure shift. And now on the market structure shift, regarding the market structure shift, check this out, guys. Right here, we essentially had a market structure shift. Price broke above this high with this week. However, I decided to not take this setup. I would have entered on this second gap right here, okay, with the stop loss below this low. The reason I decided to not take this setup is because this right here was a weak market structure shift. And because it was a weak market structure shift, this was not A plus anymore. And now we can play the price. Okay, let me delete the gap and check this out. Price went lower, went super close to the stop loss. Bear in mind, I would have placed the stop loss below this low. Then it reversed. Then it came back and check this out. It would have been a stop loss right here. And once again, it is super, super important to be selective, because like this, you will be able to avoid setups that don't look as good, that have a higher chance of losing, similar to this one on USD CHF. So our first trade of the day played out and it was a loss. As we can see right here, we can go on the history tab. First trade of the day, GBP/USD sell, it was a loss, okay? And now let's quickly recap this trade. So on the hourly time frame, we had this sweep of this level, which was a pretty major one. Price was at a 4-hour supply, which was a good higher time frame confluence. And on the 5-minute, we can see that we had this beautiful and aggressive market structure shift. Hence why I considered this setup to be A plus. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a loser, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's part of the game. It was a valid setup, it was a valid loss. Now we'll just keep on going and see what the markets will have to offer. All right, so we might have two new opportunities. First one, GBP/USD gave us a beautiful and aggressive shift. Now we're waiting for this gap to be confirmed. And the second one on USHF, same story. Shift right here, beautiful one, and now we're waiting for the gap to be confirmed. So we can currently see that GBP/USD literally missed us by 0.1 pips, but it's still too soon to speak. Maybe it will retrace and it will tap us in. And apart from that, I identified a new one, a new potential one on EUR/USD. We can see we have this aggressive shift right here. One fair value gap here, second one, and the third one entry will be on the second one, okay? And on USHF, price is still heading higher. It looks like it will print the second VVG here. That's why I also adjusted my entry to it. So for now, let's wait and see how the price will unfold. So this euro-dollar potential setup became invalid because, as we can see, it already did its move. It would have been at around 1.6 R. Therefore, I will disconsider it. USHF is still heading higher, and if it continues to do so, it will be the same as EU. And GBP/USD, we can see that we have some tough luck over here. It literally missed the entry by 0.1 pips, by one single point. And now it is running in some profits, but let's see. There's still time left to see whether it will retrace. If the move will go all the way here, I will disconsider this setup. It's a sad day today, guys. Check this out. GBP/USD, exactly what I was afraid of. It literally missed us by one single point. It went straight into profit, and now it tapped into this gap here that I previously mentioned. It also formed a second gap. Now you guys might say, well, why don't you enter on the second gap? Yes, theoretically it would be valid, but check this out. If I extended TP, the 1 to 2 will be past the opposite liquidity level, and I'm not a big fan of that. Hence why, unfortunately, this setup will become invalid. All right, so I thought to give you guys a short update since I'm about to have lunch in the next 10 to 20 minutes. It is currently 2:56 p.m. my time. And in around 35 minutes, as we can see right here, we will have the unemployment claims dropping for the US dollar, high impact news. And now let's hop on the charts and give you guys a short update. As you know, we have a loss so far today, and the trade that is currently running is this GJ trade that isn't looking that great. It's looking like it will be a stop loss. If that's the case, it will be the second one for today, and that means that we will be down 3%, which I am okay with. I knew this was a risk. That's why I decided to make this video, to show you guys how risky it is to try to pass a challenge in one single day. I knew that I will have a big chance to blow the challenge and to breach the daily limit rule, but let's see, and we'll find out together what will happen. Currently, the only interesting thing that I see is on US 30 hourly time frame. We took out this level here. We're also rejecting from this demand that is visible on the 4-hour as well. And now on the 5-minute, we are waiting for the aggressive market structure shift. Apart from that, these other pairs don't present anything interesting for now. So yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Just ate lunch, and unfortunately this GBP JPY trade stopped us out right here. We can see we are now at 96.7k, 2 losses for today. And as mentioned, now I'm minus 3%. Most likely on the next trade, I will risk 1% instead of 1.5. And let's see, hopefully the New York session will bring something good that we'll be able to take, and hopefully it will be a winner. So far the challenge is in the red, but like I said, nothing to do about it. 2 setups, both of them were valid. They decided to be losses right here on GJ. We can see that it stopped us out right here with this week, and now price is looking like it's retracing. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated. So 9 minutes left until the New York Stock Exchange will open, and this is the session that I would normally trade on a day-to-day basis. Let me show you guys what I found here for a really short update. On US 30, we can see that price took out this low right here, and it's currently at a H1 plus H4 demand. Okay, we can see it on the H4 as well. And now on the 5-minute, we are waiting for an aggressive market structure shift. This is not a beautiful sweep anymore. Let me quickly delete this. Why it's not a beautiful sweep anymore? Well, because this candlestick closed aggressively below this low right here. Next up, we have GBP USD. GBP USD right here, we have a beautiful H1 sweep above this valid high. And now on the 5-minute, we are waiting for an aggressive market structure shift. USD CHF coming up next. It swept this very low right here, also rejecting from this hourly demand right here, okay, which is really good. And now on the 5-minute, we are waiting for the market structure shift. It's pretty close actually. And it's also a beautiful H1 sweep. Why? Because this candlestick wicked below it and then it went straight to the upside. Next up, we have Euro USD. Price took out this high and an H1 plus H4 supply, and now on the 5-minute we are waiting for that market structure shift. And lastly, we have Nasdaq that also took out a valid high right here. It's a beautiful H1 sweep. We can see that the price is currently below this high, which is good because it only wicked above it, and I love the by the wicks sweeps. And now on the 5-minute, again, we are waiting for the market structure shift. So I'm looking forward to see what the New York session will have to bring. Hopefully it's going to be a good one, because all these trades will be sent as well in my community. Like I said, from Monday to Friday, I only trade the New York session. That's when I look for setups, and that's when I also send the setups that I take in my community as well. So we might have a setup on Euro USD. Let's check the hourly real quick. We have this sweep right here of this valid high. Price is beautifully rejecting from this H1 plus H4 unmitigated supply. And now on the 5-minute, we have this market structure shift right here. Barely took out this low. However, right now, I wouldn't enter this setup. It really depends on how this bearish candlestick will close. If we have a full body closure below this low right here, I will definitely want to enter on this gap right here. However, if the candlestick will close like this, I won't enter it. So the setup that I just mentioned earlier, the one on Euro USD that had the market structure shift here, the one that I said that I won't take because it was a weak market structure shift, we can see that the gap was tapped right here and the price went straight to the upside. So essentially, we at least avoided another loss by staying true to our plan and only taking those A+ setups. All right, so we are getting super close to end our trading session. 38 minutes left to be more exact, and we might have a setup on GJ. We can see that the price is giving us a market structure shift right now, but again, it looks like it's a weak one. I want to see a full body closure. Still 2 minutes left until this 5-minute candlestick will close. If we get a full body closure above this high, I will definitely take this setup right here on this fair value gap. So we are done trading for today. As we can see, it's 7 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. UK time, the time where I basically stopped trading for the day. And this right here was the last potential setup on GJ. Reason I didn't take it is because the market structure shift was a weak one. It wasn't a full body closure above this high, hence why I decided to not take it. And I think it would have been a loss here depending on the slippage. So it was a good decision. In terms of the account, let me show you guys real quick how the account is looking like. As we can see, at minus 3.2%, this is the history, the 2 trades. Once again, it's a real challenge account that I bought this morning. And let me show you the dashboard real quick as well. As we can see right here on the dashboard, minus 3.2K, 1 trading day because this is the only day we traded it. And yeah, here we can see the results. Once again, I just wanted to show you guys that it was a real challenge account, the one that I traded. Now that I am done trading for today, the challenge is officially over as well. And first thing that I want to mention is that I am extremely exhausted. I think I'm a bit more exhausted than last time when we did the challenge in the car. And now a lot of you guys might ask, well, why have you decided to still post this video if you essentially failed the challenge? And the reason I wanted to post this video, guys, is for you to see what you shouldn't do when you get a prop firm challenge. That was my whole thesis with this account, to show you guys how you shouldn't trade a challenge. A challenge should be traded with a fixed trading plan, schedule. You shouldn't spend 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, the amount of time I spent today, in order to try and pass it. Because let's say the best case scenario, I would have passed the challenge today. Let's say I would have had an amazing winning streak and I would have passed it. That wouldn't lead me anywhere, because if I continue to trade for 10 hours a day, I would eventually burn out. I will then start doing mistakes that will then lead to me blowing the account completely and enter a vicious circle that is very hard to get out of. Okay, this was the reason I decided to make this video and still upload it, even though I failed to pass the challenge. This, and also for you guys to see exactly how I scan these markets. We need to understand that the results could have been a lot worse if I would have taken all of the setups that I essentially saw. But because I was very selective and I only took the A+ setups, we only had 2 losses today instead of probably like, what, 5 I think in total, the amount of potential setups that I saw. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think about this challenge. I hope you guys learned something from it. Like I said, my goal is to make more and more people understand how trading actually works, what you should do as a trader and what you shouldn't do as a trader. And this right here is something that you should definitely avoid doing. Yes, you can get a prop firm challenge, go ahead, buy it if you're ready to go for a prop firm challenge, but trading with having a simple trading plan, simple risk management plan, and a fixed schedule. Once again, spending 10 hours a day in front of the charts won't bring you any benefits. And yeah, on that note, let me know down below if you guys want to see more challenges like this, if you enjoy them, because I will definitely do more. And lastly, I want to wish you guys the best, and I will go take a shower and go to sleep right afterwards. Take care.